Welcome back to Lock In. Let's get into the second match of the day between Leviathan and Team Vitality. As you guys can see, production, they didn't trust the three of us once again to keep it in check. So we've got SK Rossi joining us. Welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me. It's pretty exciting to be on the desk. Yeah, I'm pretty excited for this.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great game, and I'm sure your insight is going to be invaluable. We haven't been scrimming and playing against these teams, so you've got a very different perspective.
Yeah,
from us.
I've even played against one of the teams, so yeah, I have pretty good insights.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to see us break it down. But let's start with Leviathan here, because Brent's going to troll this, so I'm going to let you take this one, Josh, because they are looking so good.
Yeah, I think they're looking scary good. A lot of teams have been talking about how good they've been in scrims, and now we've actually had an opportunity to watch them play. And I think their ascent has just been absolutely immaculate. We'll talk about that in a bit, but the player quality they've got too is really, really high. You know, King's been fragging, Taco's been fragging, Mazzino, the new addition, has been popping off too. This is really supposed to be like a South American super team, right? Yeah. That's kind of the whole point of the addition of Mazzino.
No, I couldn't agree more. I mean, from the talent perspective, you look at the individuals, they're just all so damn good. I mean, I'm especially been impressed with Mazzino over the course of the tournament, because that guy has just been, you know, just dominating from an anchor position and playing smokes as well for them.
I mean, we talk about maps as well. I think in the last matchup, you guys had questions about the map pool, but when it comes to one particular map, Josh, I feel like Leviathan are just one of the best, if not the best in the world.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at their ascent. The South American teams are normally so good there, but look at how they control the attack side here. You know, they're just immaculate. The utility usage and then the way that they're pushing through, they're able to trade their way through. I mean, this round was bonkers, though. This round was the one where Mazzino TP's up top, and he's pinging out his teammates to span them through the smoke. In a lot of the other rounds, they've got Taco dashing in, and then they've got Mazzino teleporting into the smokes. A bit like the Telestrator you saw earlier from Bala, actually. This is just a team that understands how the attack side works, and for a defense-sided map, if you're good on attacking, you just got it all. And I think that makes it really difficult to get through.
Yeah, and Rossi, you know, I've heard so much scrimbox about this team, and after seeing them, do you feel like they're one of the favorites in this bracket in the tournament?
Leviathan for sure. They're like very deadliest team out there, I would say. Aim-wise, their strategy-wise, they're really strong. Even when I was talking to Erin, he said like they're one of the best teams on Ascent. We're like, they're really good and they're really sharp, and especially King. You know, he plays like multiple agents like Viper, you know, sometimes Duelist Raze, and sometimes Initiator like KO. Just to have that switch of mentality between each agent. Like when you're Viper, you're like basically like a controller, and when you're KO, you need to lead the team, lead the charge with your util. And even when you're Raze, you have to go out and frag. Like King is like the consistent fragger for their team. And all of the tournaments that I've seen, all of the games I've seen, he's like really good. Just like he's a really explosive player, having able to play like multiple agents and also consistently frag for the team. I think it's just brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, the guy just does it all, right? That flexibility you were talking about, and he's IGLing, and I mean, he's just so clean in terms of his movement. That's one of the things I'm so impressed with, because, you know, if you're calling for a game, your aim and your movement is like secondary to what you're thinking about that's going on in the moment, right? In the server. Yeah. It's why it's so rare to see a fragging IGL player, but King does it all. I mean, the guy is just sublime in every single capacity. It's like he's just maxed out on the traits in like the FIFA Ultimate Team card or something. I don't know, he's just got like 99 on everything.
He doesn't have like, I feel like the normal narratives around the IGL. People are like, oh, he's IGLing, give him a break, you know, he can't do everything. But it feels like King can do everything, which I feel like makes him really scary.
I mean, it's like if the IGL is, you know, fragging out of his mind, that's a huge motivation for all the teams. Like, our IGL is leading the team. Now, let's go charge up, and it's our time to show up as well. So, King is a really good leader, and fragging out of his mind, it's a really good motivation for the team.
Yeah. I'm interested to see, though, how deep the map pool actually goes for Leviathan, because their ascent looked great, but they had a bit of a shaky performance on Pearl. They're still able to get it over the line because they're a fantastic team. But I don't know whether they've demonstrated the same level of depth as, you know, for example, Na'Vi. If you want to talk about them being bracket favorites, that's somewhere where Na'Vi look like at the moment they have an advantage. I think this series will showcase to us, hopefully, the depth that Leviathan have or possibly don't have. Maybe Vitality can punish that.
Well, let's talk about Brent's favorite team of all time. It is Team Vitality. Tell us why you believe in this roster so much.
I mean, they had a definition of a dark horse team, but I think that just on an individual basis, they have talented players that are really quite underrated as well. And moments like these, tournaments like this, is where players like that can shine. Like Multi, for instance, like Twiston, for instance. When these guys get going, they're on another level entirely. And they do have a core of like that veteran presence a phone call. That guy has just been kind of simmering in the VRLs, but, you know, just to remind everybody at home, this is a guy who's won a title before. He won the championship title in 2021. And so he's got a ton of experience to bring to the stage to this team of, like, untested talent. And really, I think events like this are a great time for them to just go on a run and upset and kind of, like, surprise everybody. I've always been dead impressed with this team when I was watching them, even during the off-season when they hadn't had much practice. And now they've had even more time to cook. So I'm really excited about this series.
Well, Rossi, you played against them. So do you agree with everything that Brent's just said?
I mean, I do agree, but I didn't feel that pressure like I'm playing against a team like Vitality. It was just like they play on more on the confidence and the momentum that carries with Twiston. You know, it's like Twiston is making the chaos around the map, and then the Senator, you know, capitalizing on it, lurking around, taking space, calling for the team, you know, secondary calling, and just telling them like what's happening around the map. And I think they carry forward with that. Against us, is every time it was Twiston on the other side, and there's Senator lurking around, so it was very annoying for us. So I think Vitality capitalized on the confidence and, you know, like a lot of momentum-based,
I was impressed, though, with a lot of their defensive protocols. I think on Split, they demonstrated a great understanding of the map, and also just the way that they're controlling the map on Lotus here, too, investing a lot of utility early on in fairly unusual ways.
Yeah, I think the way that they were varying that up as well. I mean, firsthand, Rossi, you were experiencing this, right? And it makes it so much harder to control that one particular area of the map. But the reason I picked out that example as well when I was like thinking about it is that I think they're a team that are clearly thinking about the way they want to play certain maps and the extra layers on top. And beyond that point, it comes down to player quality and like the fundamentals and how they trade off of each other, which clearly they have because they are incredibly skilled players, like in just the form of like Twiston and Sender as well as an individual as well. That guy just seems to be able to pull rounds out of nowhere.
I'm glad you guys have already started the conversation on Twiston, because EMEA, we knew what he can do. You know, he was a known quantity already, but to show up on his debut on LAN as well, Brand, I feel like he's probably one of the reasons as to why you're so confident.
Yeah, and he said previously, I keep bringing this up because I find it so funny, but like in a previous interview, he's saying, our team doesn't have any star players. And I cannot think that that's anything more opposite compared to what he showcased in, because the guy was just on a tear over and over again, being able to pull just miraculous moments from just nowhere, it seems like. And that kind of player quality as well is something that, you know, some teams might be lacking it. They'll offset it with really good strategy, good layers in that. But having a player like Twiston who can just pull out insane rounds, magical moments, can be the difference maker when your team is down and out in certain situations.
But I think also, and listen, Rossi, I don't want to be rude, but I think that he was abusing a lot of like the nerves that you guys had on Split and finding holes in your game as a newer team. I think he's going to find that way more difficult against Leviathan, a team that is really drilled and the core's been together for a while.
Yeah, like if the Leviathan boys saw the game against us, I think they're gonna definitely punish, because even when the Vitality guys had the side, Twiston was always like aggressive.
Yeah,
you know, he was never passive. So I think if they start punishing that, I think Twiston's confidence will also go down, and the team will be like making a lot of mistakes, and that might, you know, stop their momentum. But they need to punish first. I think that's the game. Leviathan need to punish Twiston out and punish their mistakes. I think that will be a very good start for them.
Well, Twiston, he's got a secret weapon, though, and we all know what that is. Let's do a shorty check-in. Of course, this guy in EMEA, he loves shorties, buckies, judge, anything like a shotgun. And as you guys can see on your screen, I think it's 45 so far shorty kills, and I believe he even tweeted like he's going to donate 25 euros to every shorty kill that anyone does in this tournament. And I did a little bit of research, and I think the max anyone has got in one map was Sugar Zero, and that was 4 shorty kills in one map.
Was that all the way back in like Reykjavik or something?
I think so, but I feel like Twiston can beat that.
Possibly. I mean, the shorty developments, I'm not even kidding. It's really nerdy to talk about, like how weapons come into like tournaments and people figure out more and more ways to use it. But the shorty is just, this tournament so far, people are using it way more. Like it gives you the extra element, like I've noticed so many more players spamming through smokes with the Phantom, and they run out of ammo, and the immediate response is like a pro or anyone is to run in there and punish them, but they just whip out a shorty, and then they kill you when you're trying to punish them like in smokes. I've seen that so many more times now.
The reason it works with for Twiston is like he plays Jet, and he's an opper. He just take a shot, let's say he missed, the opponents are like, he missed the shot, let's run at him, and instantly have a shorty, and it's an easy kill for them. And that's why it works more on Sugar Zero as well. He plays a controller, he just pop off a smoke and play inside with the shorty, and it's very hard to expect. And on a big stages, you might tend to make mistakes, and you might forgot that the player has a shorty out of nowhere, and it really works with Twiston because he's on jet. He just throws smoke and gets shotty kills.
They need to bring back the broken classic right click because that was keeping the shorty in check. When the classic right click was broken, there was no need to buy a shorty, and we all just had goofy, silly moments with the classic all over the place.
I want
That's
the
what
Bucky.
we need.
I want the Bucky
The
back.
old Bucky.
Yeah, Bucky FC.
As a
Buy
secondary
Bucky.
weapon?
Dude, Korea would take over as a region. When I was playing Korean ranked, the amount of times people would just force Bucky, second round, third round, whatever, they would just full buy on Bucky was insane. They're playing like it's pre-nerf Bucky. Like Korea would take over if it was on the, at the same level as it was in 2020.
I mean, Brent, I know you're still on the side of Vitality, but Rossi, I want to ask you, who you got for this game? Who do you think is going to be taking it?
I think Leviathan. Yeah, like I said, if Vitality continues that momentum and the twist and confidence, and if Leviathan don't punish that, I think it's a game for Vitality. But I know Leviathan has a really good team and they are very experienced on big stages. I think they'll be able to punish it and they're going to take this game away. Yeah.
What about you, Josh?
Yeah, I've got to favor Leviathan. I just think they look so clean on the maps that they're good at, but I want to see more from them. I know that, you know, people in the scrims have been really impressed with what they've seen, but for us actually watching the matches, we've only seen one map so far that looked dominant. And there are other teams around, even in this bracket, like Na'Vi, like Fnatic, that have shown us more and on deeper map pools. So that's what I'm looking for here today. Leviathan not just to win, but to impress.
Yeah.
You got about 10 seconds to
10 seconds, that's
yeah,
fine.
10.
Listen, my brain says Leviathan. I agree with you guys. I think on paper, everything across the board seems like they should be taking it, but my heart says
Didn't know
Vitality.
you had one.
I don't. It's pea size, it's tiny, so maybe that does not bode well for you guys, honestly.
Time's up. Your time's up, Brian. Your time's up because the teams are ready right now. It's time to bring out Leviathan and Team Vitality onto stage for the next round of this matchup. These teams have ever faced each other before, and today they're playing for their tournament lives and a shot at Na'Vi. Now, Rossi, as we were watching that, you know, I saw a little bit of emotion coming from you. Tell me what it was like to be on that stage, to do that walkout in front of the fans.
I miss being on the stage already, especially on the walkout. I just literally got goosebumps. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. The sounds, the lighting, the fans, like a lot of people watching from home. And that was my first time on the stage. I'm like, it was completely goosebumps. Even now, when they were walking out, the music and stuff, I just literally got goosebumps. And I just miss being on the stage already.
The players for Fidelity will be feeling the same way. Leviathan have actually done a lot of work to calm themselves and be match ready for tournaments like this and moments like this. But Leviathan, as you see them still grouped together, it's still pretty new for them.
Yeah, it is. But one advantage they have coming into this is they haven't lost that underdog mentality, I think, at the back of their heads. They still like the fact that they are dark horse in this tournament, and that's
a great
that
map.
People aren't really, you know, paying close attention to them. But these maps are going in a very interesting direction. Ascent has not been banned out off the rip.
I'm not sure if that's a mistake from Vitality here, not to take away the obvious one, but Leviathan are not picking it.
That is weird to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I think in the off-season, their Haven looked really shaky. Leviathan were playing with Kesnit, though, and they were still playing in the chamber meta, so I'm sure they've done a lot of work. From a curious analyst's perspective, I actually quite like this because we get to see more map depth, but I also just feel like Ascent was the obvious pick.
Yeah, Rossi, what do you make of this? Haven and Pearl as the first two.
I think like Leviathan guessed that Vitality might have prepared for them in Ascent. I think that's why they went for a surprise pick of Haven, because everybody knows how good Leviathan is. Like that's their highest win rate, right, on that map. So I think that's why they took another route of going for Haven, maybe knowing that Vitality might have prepared for them really well.
Yeah. We're gonna get Ascent anyway, it looks like.
But and I think if this ends up going to 3, I heavily favor Leviathan. But there does seem to be, based on the map pool, an opportunity here. If Leviathan start out shaky on Haven, I could see a world where Twiston's Jet leads them to a 2-0 upset.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Vitality, first map Haven, I think actually will work out quite nicely for them. When I've watched this team in the offseason, and at various times as well, multi-pedestrian, fantastic in the map in the past when they've been on Oglu. Bonecourt also an amazing IGL.
Well, here is the Prime Gaming agent select. I'm looking forward to seeing what both teams are going to pick here. And obviously, as we see, LEV, they haven't played this map yet in 2023, it looks like. And so far, everything is not too weird.
Yeah, I mean, Leviathan were playing it in the off-season, but you're right, that might have been in late 2022. So Shy going to KO, just Taco's got to be playing Okay.
Oh.
On the Raze, right.
I mean, this is really interesting. When I watched Leviathan last on this map, they had counter-strats on counter-strats. They were seasonating the pocket where Omen's TP in A lobby pressure for Haven.
But
so look out for those kind of layers as well.
But to me, it felt a bit surface level. I want to see deeper.
And Rossi, Jet versus Raze, what do you think?
I think like the Raze is really good at taking the A lobby control, especially when you're a defender, conditioning the team to go towards B or C. I think that's their game plan. It's all about the A lobby fight is what I feel.
Yeah, and also Twiston's going to have some opportunities on that shorty. And speaking of shorties, here are my two shorties. I'm so sorry.
Oh. Sue, did you get a lost in the sauce there? Little lost in the sauce, huh? You said shorty and there's nowhere to go.
Yeah,
we'll take it as a compliment.
Sure,
I appreciate
that's what I'm
that.
gonna do.
Thank you. However, let's kind of talk about this game, because I genuinely think this could be a very volatile matchup between these two. The desk alluding to the individual capability, how it felt to play against them, multitudes of aspects coming into this game now, but where's your mind going at the very start here?
I mean, I'm kind of in agreement with the desk in the fact that this seems like it could be very split between who is going to be able to take this one. Vitality have everything to prove. They're coming out here the second series now on this stage. Leviathan, very experienced roster, but a lot more expectations riding on them, especially with a lot of the crowd backing them right now, Lauren. Biggest question for me is Taco Leah, how is he going to be looking on this race? Last time we really saw Leviathan crushing on this map, it was King playing that, but Taco Leah was on that chamber. Now he's out of the meta, so we see King flexing over to that breach role that Adverso used to play.
But King has been invaluable to this side, and we are underway. It will be Vitality on the attacking side, which of course then means Leviathan on the defending side. C-site somewhat open and an instantaneous posturing for this retake. Let's see if there's any sort of threats so they can manifest, but I love this deep hold towards middle. Bonecourt hyper aware of the potential, and did he just catch the timing on Taco?
Yep, heard the footsteps for sure, and I don't think they glimpsed him at all, and Mulsey's just swinging around the back, but he doesn't manage to find the kill. Bonecourt will be good for one, now a second! Shy able to answer back with just one of his own. They try to get themselves back here into the site. Messina just going to be laying down smoke.
Mazzino tapping on the spike, drastically outnumbered, but bear in mind, Vitality aren't anywhere near here. Someone needs to deny this.
This could be a heartbreaker.
Oh, he's got it! Right under their nose. They had no idea and no ability to get back into it. I thought that was finally time for Vitality to post a pistol round.
It absolutely should have been. But yeah, that pistol round victory is still going to be eluding them here. As LEV, they just get in, get the stick. But that was about as perfect as a beginning as you could have hoped for Vitality. They get the site for free. Bonecourt charges through Garage, finds two. That initial opening there from Mulsey, well, doesn't find the eliminations. Still, he puts pressure down, but they just didn't have the coverage to prevent that defuse from coming in. So LEV steal that round away. But we did see Vitality being so consistent at winning these eco rounds. There's less sheriffs than we're used to seeing. But let's see if they can get it done.
Yeah, I want to just keep tabs on that. Again, I asked Hypok, who is currently obviously in his dungeon, what he was looking for. Give me a win condition here. Hold on, that's a mistake from Taco. He's got to try and stay alive. He's being pressured. He's down. Okay, any more danger? Yes, actually, they're on the side. Hold on.
How do they do it?
Twiston, that is the player that Rossi was saying. If he gets that momentum, that confidence, that's worrying.
That's a big swing and a big paranoia, but no one really ready to play off of it. Just cuts across, everybody continues to get into position. You still have that deep lurk from Bone Cold hovering back at a lobby, just making sure that no one approaches from behind. This should give them now a very good idea that it's going to be a Heaven and Link push. Their way through, Twistin finding one, now a fourth.
Oh, Twistin's on for the damn ace. This boy is heating up. 4 already. Wants to make it his own.
1 HP.
Oh, he's done for. Bone Cold, yeah, he'll take it away. That's just fine. But 4 for Twistin. You talk about confidence. You talk about being an Eco Cobra to an extent. But again, you'll take that every day of the week, punishing any of those players who are pushed up, catching Taco in an uncomfortable scenario then, trying to back away desperately, the paranoia, straight sent out, it was just perfect. Able to spiral off the back as soon as he got that SMG to hand. He was golden.
And I just don't know how they continue to be this consistent in winning out on these eco rounds, but they're not letting that initial little scuffle on the defuse upset them whatsoever. Now the momentum is completely swung. You see 4 rifles, still the Spectre held by Twistin, who's 5-0-2. As it's just going to be classics and some util for the side of LEV. Turning this around for them seems like a nigh impossible task.
Yeah, and as I said, I was speaking to Mike earlier, asking what he was looking out for. Vitality to actually pick up a pistol. Now, it looked like they had everything made for it, and then obviously slipped between the fingertips, but still, the conversion here in the second, certainly course correction to say the least, and also had a quick chat with the coach of Vitality just prior to this, just, you know, a moment before they went on, really. And he predicted this veto incredibly well, as in to the extent of Ascent, as in the extent of the first map. He knew their veto to a T. So Vitality should be more than prepared. They should be very well equipped with what's coming their way. I want to see how they look, though. I'm also looking at the fundamentals here, Seth. I'm looking at how clean do they keep these rounds, because right now they are walking into potentially a 4-play stack on C.
Still, though, weapons not going to be advantageous to them. Fault line goes out. Stun does connect there on Twistin. Still manages to make it up above. Spray coming through. It takes a little bit of damage back, but still will find King, and Mazzino falls as well. Nesmark pushing in. Will get 1. So first death there for the Vitality Jet, but now it's just Shy with a shorty on the back sight, and he misjudges where he's going to be wrapped on. Destrian will go ahead and finish it off with a 4K of his own.
This is good for standing. It's what we're asking for. And I already like it. If we kind of roll our minds back even to that pistol run, I love seeing what Bone Cold's up to. Constantly watching on these flanks, constantly making sure that backline is secured no matter what. You saw in the pistol kind of lingering back deep by down your double doors. You saw it even in that second round where Twistin got that 4K kind of sitting over towards A lobby in case that backline pressure was coming out. And again, as much as yes, on paper, you look at Leviathan as one of those teams that certainly has that credentials on these maps as of late, but Bone Cold has also been instrumental. I think Bren actually mentioned on the desk as well, some of the individuals here are exceptionally good on some of these maps. So if they've been able to build off that here, that's what I'm looking forward to. But again, somewhat of a standardized start, showing presence towards A long, no commitment behind it, and a heftier lean towards C. Now, Mazzino has to greet them at the door.
Already getting tagged up. There's the Aftershock. Throws the Paranoid to buy some time. Gets himself tucked into the corner. Relatively safe for now. Dart has to be cleared. He's still going to get pinged, though. TP's across. Playing with the info game as much as he can, but will only be good for a 1-for-1 trade. It's a back, but King over here at Lumber will find one, but it's just a back-and-forth brawl. Now we're down to a 2v2.
Yeah, it's still, let's look at where the other two players are. One towards CT, one still towards B.
Halsey
down to 10 HP. He's the walking wounded. Taco, great damage for the 1v2 now. Tap on the spike, he's been spotted. He can't get away with this anymore. He needs to find one of these 2 kills, and they're giving him no options.
But no one's watching behind. With 44 seconds on the clock, he could absolutely rotate out of this, but he's going to be creeping back into C, looking to take the fight. Spots one. Now he's going to hightail it. Cuts a crossover towards A.
Yeah, he's making a go of this one. Going to make him work for this. Still a little bit of utility on the fade as well, so Sender, where do you take this one? Going to get himself a plant here, but it's all about timing, and how does he divide these 2 players?
10 seconds left, now 8 on that fade for the Haunt. Be instrumental in trying to spot out exactly where Sender's going to be lurking from, but he's going to be pushing down into short, looking to see if he can catch anybody in the lobby. Not necessarily reading that they're already in the site. As they continue to poke and prod around, Haunt still not yet coming out.
The plant's almost baiting for the other side, right? Oh, no way, that's devastating for Sender.
Just enough space to be able to spot him out. The Prowler now chases. Taco goes on the aggro swing, gets the headshot, and Lev will go ahead and even up the score at 2-2.
I like the concept there from Sender, though, kind of faking out the plant spot to an extent and then slipping in towards Sewer, trying to maybe keep them guessing. They were both facing towards CT, looking towards heaven, but again, gets revealed and the jig's up. There's no more getting away with it. You can't do anything. So split at 2 apiece here. This is what I expected from this game. What a high quality game we're seeing so far. Highly volatile. We're still seeing that value from Twiston hitting on this. I'm looking on the other side. Leviathan, as a collective though, answering back in kind. Not a single individual standing up and kind of over-delivering yet, but my eye's still going towards Shy. He has been so good at kind of the quiet, unsung hero to an extent at times in their previous games as well, so have to wait and see if this carries on forward. Different look this time, over towards A.
Sending out the haunt, to be cleared. Thought maybe we would see that Seize Nade combo, but for now, Taco's just going to be holding on to the paint shells. Heavy pressure applied, so they get that 3-man push down, but with the smoke coming through, looks like they will just maybe look to back away. King getting ready to reply to some of this garage pressure that was being put out there by Sender, but he's backed off the fault line, ends up getting held. And the blades get popped.
Yeah, Sender though needs to go through the protocol list, trying to clear some of this utility, try and draw one of the 3 players away from A, but it's still pretty convincing. Twiston's on a tear though. Oh my word! Taco in the meantime explodes Bone Cold, and they still don't have that springboard towards the side. They have no access thus far, and these angles are deadly. That's a barrel spotted, and that's a body on the ground.
Destria just not reading that somebody could have been tucked there. Right in the cubby, they get spotted. Now the haunt out, tagging 2. Twiston entries, finds 1. Sender getting Nazwar as well. King now just looking to hold down the site, but Twiston answers back. Another 3K for him. Shy now pops that lockdown. The plant interrupted for a brief moment. They're going to be running the clock pretty close here. Shy gets himself up into heaven.
Doesn't catch him on the way out, but he's going to be pretty assured where they're going to be. Lockdown does clear.
Eats the fall damage.
But the plant's good for long. They need players to correctly, and they do. Vitality. Really nice adjustment even on the plant there to make sure they could play from that cubby. And no, I can't believe they still find value on the site. This is still Twiston just striding in. They had no success initially. This was Taco just taking the wind out of their sails. They still had that player tucked into the cubby to deny the sewer access. It looked like the gates were shut. And then Twiston pulls off this.
Yeah, I mean, it's just brutal. The fact that you are able to open up, find those 2 kills, you get the showstopper out onto Bone Cold, you have just that lurk tucked away, being able to take down Destrin, but Twiston just shows up and rips them asunder. Now Vitality back in the lead once more as we see this forward push coming out here from Taco. He's got some backup. They cleared the turret, so they have not noted his forward position yet, but this drone certainly can.
Oh, shot. Wow. Yeah, Taco not making too many subtleties about this. Mazzino with him as well. I want to see how well this default holds. Yeah, they're being very diligent. There's still a little bit of a threat here in the form of Mazzino, so maybe he could do some chip damage, but I like what I'm seeing from Vitality. Again, when you look at this squad, it's a little bit more kind of the gunslingers of EMEA, right? They're super high potential players, incredibly mechanically gifted. Throwing Bone Cold as a great mind, a great kind of leader in that essence. But again, it's do they have that composure? Do they not overextend? Do they not get, sloppy in their anti-ecos? So far, super clean. Yep. Liking seeing that because Leviathan are super slippery, right? They will find space. They are just an explosive back. The aggression is normally great. Right here, though, this is a very diligent Vitality.
Yeah. I mean, I like the idea of the change-up getting Taco Leah in that forward position. Unfortunately, it's just fairly well read from the side of Vitality. Hawk goes out, instantly cleared. No spots, no headshots through the smoke. Really, from here on out, it's about whatever damage Leviathan can try to inflict. Just try to get some of these guns out of the hands of Vitality. The money is stacked up nicely. They will be able to get that next buy, but you don't want them to really bolster the economy. But it seems like they're actually just going to hang back, wait for the spike to explode, not give over any more ult charges, even though Twiston's the only one who lacks it.
Yeah, and I'd say for Vitality, they can somewhat, I don't want to say cruise, that's incorrect, but they are very comfortable. Once their money now will become far more robust with this buy in hand, basically. You've got 5 rifles still on deck. You've got all these ults that are still there if they need it. They have that almost round in hand if they get the opportunity. Now for Leviathan, they're not too far away themselves. I'm going to have to little double check on this. Twiston is just feeling out the game. Everything's going his way. It's lovely to see Twiston actually getting probably the eyeballs on his talent that he deserves, because he has been a hot prospect, but to be able to do this against Leviathan, that is a very different ordeal.
Yeah. So far, we just haven't really seen LEV find their footing yet. Taco with a decently quiet beginning, 3 and 5 at the moment. No match. Need that explosive raise to really rely on, be able to get them back into this one, because, I mean, you heard the desk's reactions, him shifting over the raise. We figured Chamber out of the meta. King's probably going to be playing something a bit more flexible. He's shown in those off-season tournaments that he has been playing Breach on Haven. We're expecting that Jet to still come through.
Ooh, a little mid-piece. No one there this time. Again, yes, Bone Cold has been occasionally lingering there in their defaults, but when they're going for these A pieces, he's with them. That's different. Mazzino takes down Sender, eyes towards Twiston. He's still standing, and he's still deadly. Ult's coming through. Bone Cold pins down Mazzino, but it ain't clean.
No, it certainly is not. Shy able to find Twiston there. After Shock, just pushing Destrian out of hell. Molesy able to still stay tucked away. The two still alive, but the man advantage is here for the side of LEV, and this is a round that they desperately need to win, and they also need to try to get it as cleanly as possible.
King's ult, right? That is always going to be the caveat to this round. There it is. They actually held the pace a little. See if they can get away with it. Oh, Bone Cold stuck around just long enough. Perfect play from Bone Cold, keeps himself to the site, and all in the meantime, Destrian takes the TP, hits the ult, and heads over towards C. Support needs to get there quick, though.
It's just a fantastic adjustment for them. I was worried because they weren't playing in hell. That Rolling Thunder was going to be able to hit everybody, but Destrian just goes ahead, pulls the trigger on the TP ult, gets himself into C to get the safe plant, as well as that huge kill on Taco Leah.
And they're still so paranoid about a lurk, potentially, and I don't blame you. There's a chance that Bone Cold could have still been on A, trying to backfill this, and there's just nothing going their way. I question if they're saving yet. They're going to just hit the brakes on this one. Oh. The rifles are far more valuable at this point. They have very little to play in with this on. And yes, Vitality burn a great deal of their ultimates in this round, but in another round on the board, and the gap going further away from Leviathan. The money, I want to look towards it for Leviathan as well. What sort of buys are they going to be down on? They also burned most of their ults that they had to hand, so they are going to be on the lower end of that as well. I've got to expect a timeout soon. Seth, they got to pump the brakes on this, get a grip on this game, because it's spiraling out of control now.
Yeah, we'll see if they decide to do it here. But I do agree, the 3-round deficit on your map pick, not going to be feeling too great. Granted, it is round, or side selection rather, for the side of Vitality, but yeah, Bone Cold just pulling back, eluding that Rolling Thunder, just gets the snipes across there on the Taco Leah. At first, I thought he was stunned. We've seen so many stunned kills from those Rolling Thunders, just getting those headshots, but that would have been even more impressive than the ones we've seen so far.
They still feel like they've got a little something here, and aggression might be the name of the game, and straight away Taco slices right through them. Shy in support through Garage. It's not over yet. Vitality needs to get a grip on this round.
How does he win that?
A bounding fade apparently denies it. So this is the first time the aggression has been turned up to 11.
As we're able to win that out. Sure, it goes down to 8 HP, but the man advantage drastically now in the favor of Leviathan. Molesy just going to be pushing that spike over towards Twiston, who's invested for the operator. Let's see if they try to play this one out for now. He's just going to be holding back towards spawn. They do have an abundance of cash, so even if this op does get downed, they will be able to buy another one should they choose, but it's more about not letting it get into the hands of the defending team.
Now, do they have any chances in this? Molesy?
He has to know that he's close, especially now.
Molesy and Taco now, ready to greet. Spots one player. Does Molesy read there could be someone close? Again, 4 players against you. All of these angles are so unfavorable, and he has absolutely no idea. Twiston, no trade straight away either. 58 HP, and an operator to hand.
Now how do you try to hold on to this one? Throws down the cloud burst. Starting to encroach on his position. The swing around from behind coming in through Shy. Taco Leah just continues to jiggle. Does get taken down.
He's open.
That's still going to hurt a bit. And yep, they see that cloudburst coming in. And with 12 seconds remaining, he's actually going to be able to get a potential plant in.
Obviously, he doesn't know how much space he's got, so he still has to clear slightly. Expecting someone to be closer by. Shy could be the end of this anyway, going towards C-Long. One towards CT on King. Twiston, he's going to be surrounded here.
Right as he goes to pull off of getting that spike planted. Granted, they don't really need that plant money. The Swarm will come in to get the kill. Still though, dropping a couple guns for the side of LEV. Just continue to make them feel a little bit more uncomfortable. But crucially, they're able to win that back without having to call the timeout.
Yeah, and again though, you will have to look at this in the aspect of, could you do that again? Is this now something you can find, repeatable success with?
Sure.
I don't think you get away with it a second time. It's great to throw in there once in a while. That's perfect. Reset that momentum. Bring yourself back into it. Now I need to see them approach this in a more traditional fashion that Vitality have been winning out in.
For me, the best thing about that play, just upping that aggression and being able to get the round win, is that the coach didn't have to get involved. It was just on the in-game leadership saying, okay, we're going to go for this, and then they made it work. They didn't need that intervention. If they can continue to run things back now, bring this to a 5-4 scoreline, You start feeling really good about Lev's options, because the longer you can pocket those timeouts, the better it's going to be.
Yeah, I like the kind of counter utility towards Garage, because they know there's been a layered piece coming in for Vitality. Destrian's in a little bit of trouble, to say the least. Down pretty low, and he's been found out so early on. They're not denying these players on the back of the side. There's very little pressure. Twiston, yes, still standing, but so many more on the Leviathan side.
Mizzino, he's so very low. Twiston will be able to find King, but he just can't quite take down Nazware. Now Bone Cold left out in the open, the spike on the ground. It seems like Lev should be able to go ahead and convert this into a second round win in a row. Let's see what Bone Cold can do. He's got no ideas really, aside from Mizzino's position. Just narrowly avoids that. Smoke will come in. He'll turn tail, start heading towards A yet again.
30 seconds to play with.
30 seconds left.
Does he manage to catch one on rotation? That'd be ideal. Mizzino, yes, he is low.
It's just outside of that audio range, and with Shy taken down, doesn't have to worry about this KJ utility. Seems like Mizzino a little bit late to realize, but now we'll go ahead and cut back. Bone Cold needs to win this first fight if he wants a clutch.
Not gonna happen. Leviathan, that's big. Finding answers mid-game. As said, I expected a timeout to be coming in soon, but off the back of the aggression, they found what they need here. Far more support towards C, earlier rotations, having players in the right place here, expecting that late garage pressure as well. This is looking way more robust from Leviathan, getting a little bit more of a grip on the game now.
You're running it back. 5, though, on the half. Probably still more than they wanted to be able to give up. In position to potentially run this into a 7-5 if they can continue to streak. You see the fans out in abundance here, making a creative use of their thunder sticks. Some ults to work with, though. Lockdowns on either side. Expecting to see those come into play since we do have a double buy round.
Okay, setup still stands. And early intention towards pressure. Yeah, Twiston getting far further ahead of this. Now noting another player towards A Connector. Do they now expect to push up towards A Long? Yes, they do! Sender heads up play. Noting the additional rotation potentially, or just simply quicker to pull the trigger. And now, where the hell is this final player on this A side? Can they get around them?
Nazware would love to have gotten out of this lockdown, but as he tries to get repositioned, Sender just pushes in out of short, finds the kill. Molesy now gonna be the one left behind to watch for these flanks. As they just spam out, but it seems like Lev right now, no intention whatsoever of even trying to play for this one. I can't blame them. The cash is all right, but 2v5 just seems so impossible. It's just not worth the attempt.
Good response from Vitality. Twiston's ability to start these rounds off has been off the charts as well. Since even taken up towards the operator as well, still so much impact. Not slowed down at all. Fantastic on the attacking side here. On the other side of things, Leviathan, once again, will be posed a question. This A side now looking a little bit more vulnerable. That early pick towards B just kind of shuffled everyone slightly over, causing those rotations and the instantaneous pressure off the back. Molesy, does he get it? Yep, that's a rifle gone. Mizzino, the only one to keep that going forward. I'm worried about the money here for Leviathan. I do want to keep note on that once we get into that next round.
Okay, Mizzino right at the very end of the round does find one, but you're not really putting too many dents in at this point. 6,200 before the buys start flying. But yeah, Twiston just postured up, gets that early catch onto King. It's the IGL taken down. Sender with a nasty little flick, perfectly reading that Taco Leo was going to be in that forward position. And from there, it's just looks very easy for the side of Vitality.
Yeah, a couple
Balls
of
and shots are all on point.
Yeah, coming through now for Leviathan. Little bit on the back foot in that regard, but still able to post up what they need. I want to see what if there is a response again. So much threat early around Twiston, trying to be hyper-mobile with this. We've seen pressure towards B, we've seen A long, we've seen C long. He is everywhere, happy to challenge where he can. Looking to see if maybe A is the end goal once again. We are seeing a little bit more pressure coming down on long. Yes, Taco this time still here. Oh, pop, they've got a fleet. They all make it out. A little bit of damage, yes, on Bone Cold, but everyone else still standing pretty.
Takes him down low, but it's not the elimination he was hoping for, but under pressure, that at least allows him to be able to escape, not get that drone tag and get overwhelmed. So now, in position, there's the fault line from King. Sends it out, trying to delay. They go for the swing, but Molesy, Bone Cold, not tagged up. They just counter swing down, stare into that sewer, and find the elimination. So again, it's Vitality starting with the right foot forward.
Now, the only factor is to this, it's only Sender here so far. They're actually looking towards B. Now, there's still that Killjoy utility in place towards this, and Sender's finding success. That's
so much success.
Issue, Sender! You are meant to be the bait, you're meant to be the fake, and now they're winning out on towards A. They've taken the B side, but there's still utility here, as noted earlier. The lockdown gets dealt with, and the plant can now come back around for the second time. I do like what I'm seeing from Destrian, though, slipping back in towards deeper mid, knowing Mazzino's been on C long. This is a high potential position, and he's been spotted.
He has been spotted, and as he tries to go for the paranoia, there's the swing out. Destrian just lurking perfectly. And then Shy again. 0 credits. Money across the board for the side of Lev. Very much down in the dumps. He's just going to back away. Make sure that he's not getting wrapped around on. The push is starting to come through. Bone Cold says, you know what? I've got 4,300, 29 HP. I might as well try to get this gun out of his hands. And right now, Shy's not watching for this crunch. Turns around. Shy will be able to win it out. Seems like holding on to the Vandal. Maybe he'll be able to make it happen, but now Twistin coming in on the hunt.
That angle is not what you're going to be pre-aiming, but at this point, though, it's worth trying to get these guns out of their hands. Their money is shattered. They are struggling now to string together full purchases. They have been manhandled. Vitality, I'm so impressed. Again, that little early look, that little linger towards A, and then just sending out Molesy, and he over-delivers, right? Yeah. He pulls out the ult from KJ. He finds the first. He carries on. Exactly! You're not meant to be finding this much value. Maybe one and done, a little bit of a show and tell, but that's it. But no, he takes the whole side by himself. You couldn't ask for a better round. Leviathan need to get a grip on this one, and they need it fast.
Yet still not seeing those timeouts come through.
Nope.
Owner holding on to him. Blades pop, just why not? Up shot not going to connect. Do they read Takolia in this fourth position? He goes for the swing out. But he's got the Spectre, and Twistin gets the follow-up shot. Mazzino's dead. C-Sight not quite open. Shy manages to answer back with a kill with a Bulldog. But now he's fault-lined, pushed into the corner. King got cover and fire. But then he needs still so much more, and King is looking to deliver! A 4K from King with the Guardian shuts him down and brings Lev back. 7-5 in the half, Vitality in the lead, but man, what a turnaround.
And you thought Shy was dead to rights there, right? They were just chasing him down, and there was King, saving him, keeping him safe. It was perfect timing from King.
Absolutely gorgeous stuff here from King at the end, but still not necessarily where Lev would like to be. We'll see, though. All of the swap sides take to the attack as well. We'll see how they fare on that one. But for now, we're going to throw it down to Doug, who's got a very special guest standing by for an interview.
Thank you so much, Achilles. Yeah, I'm hanging out with Astarda here from Team Liquid. We're going to pick her brain for a little bit during this halftime break. Astarda, first and foremost, what do you think about the game that's going on? Primero de todo, ¿qué opinas del partido?
Hola a todos, opino que el partido está siendo súper interesante y va a ser difícil para los dos equipos y ojalá que Leviatán gane porque yo apoyo a Chile, soy chilena, así que vamos Leviatán.
She says the game's really interesting. She really hopes that Leviatan's able to win because they're Chilean and so is she, and that totally makes sense. Now, the next question I have for you is very similar. Given what you've seen, who do you think is going to win?
Obviamente Leviatán, porque tienen confianza entre ellos, son un equipo con mucha confianza, entonces yo creo que aunque estén perdiendo, aunque tengan poca desventaja, yo creo que van a ganar.
As she says that even given the face that they're losing, she's very comfortably rooting for Leviathan. She feels like they're very confident, they're playing together, and while it may have not been a great start, there's high hopes for the squad. Now, last question I have for you. How excited are you for Game Changers? ¿Estás animada para Game Changers este año?
Sí, estoy súper animada y ansiosa por lo que se viene, dónde va a ser, cuántas vagas va a tener.
Claro.
Y espero que esta vez mi equipo gane, porque mi equipo este año se viene más fuerte que el año pasado.
She says she's incredibly excited. She's so curious about where it's going to be, when it's going to be. And then the last important thing is she just hopes that her team is the one that wins this year. We'll throw it back to the casters. Pansy Achilles, take it away. Holy smokes, it's loud in here.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is loud in here, actually. It really started to heat up once they're showing the Leviathan players. And at 5-7, it is certainly a workable scoreline. Leviathan's attacking side is arguably one of their strong points as well, in my mind. That aggression's there, the work they can put in. Well, I've got to say, Taco's having a quiet game here. I need him to be that tip of the spear. I need him to start activating, because he's one of the most exciting prospects we saw rolling your mind back at the prior events. And sitting at 4-10 for me, not quite enough yet. I want to see him heat up here. This is the half where I hope we see that. I want to see King in tow. I mean, Shy is the safest pair of hands we've seen. And this has been the same story throughout their previous games as well. I need someone to step up with him, because right now, in my mind, Vitality are looking very good.
It feels like the Rays still a bit more work to be done as, okay, King gonna find Twistin. That's a great way to start things off on the attacking half here from LEV. King closes the first half, starts the second. With the Jet gone, you breathe a bit more easily here if you are Leviathan.
You have to say, one of the weakest points of Vitality is the pistol round. It looked so good even on the first half, and then it still somehow went wrong. So for them, this is kind of half of the course, so the scoreline could get close here. Leviathan have a big opportunity to close the game back in, and the chip damage is wonderful.
That bone called down to 50, but Takolia taking a hell of a lot of damage, but mostly going to get finished off there by the Boombot. TP in the close corner from Destrian, but everybody else from LEV is making the call, rotate out. You can see that's going to be Sender as well, responding in kind. They push to the garage, the Nanoswarm setup is there. King would be at risk. Let's see if they can get the read on this, get the timings. There's the push, there it is, and he narrowly survives.
Yeah, very fortunate to be alive. Shy, though, going to try and lean a little ahead. Don't know if Bone Cold noted that. They're actually readdressing towards B. Stunning shot from Leviathan. Destrian's lurk gets red. This is gorgeous.
Mazzino reads that perfectly. Gets the timing, says, I play Omen as well. I know what you're trying to do. Cuts him off inside window. Just like that, LEV closing out another pistol round. Vitality seemingly just allergic to pistol round victories.
They can't do it, man.
It's like old Division strikers where they could just never do it, but they always win the eco round.
I mean, look,
They got sheriffs.
If you've forgotten about Bone Cold, put a sheriff in his hands and see what he can do. He's one of those weird specialists that always seems to be able to hit with that. Twistin obviously mechanically gifted, but the buy back in for Leviathan. Light armors, yes, twice over, at least with the rifles. That's what I'm looking at. This is a heavy investment coming in. This is dangerous. They have to keep these in this game. They lose them, I'm worried.
Looks like they want just that much more firepower to try to ensure that they don't have that anti-eco loss. Twistin, a whiffy on the first shot, as Shy cleans up too. The A side is theirs.
That is exactly what we were asking for. Precision, clean approach, not allowing any of those sheriffs to find any damage really at all. Yeah, Shy took a little bit down to 70, but he's still standing. This is wondrous stuff. No threats being made. Vitality unable to find any sort of danger here. Now, Mazzino,
it's gonna take this fight.
Okay, that's the first.
Okay.
Not one of the two rifles though. That's the problem. One of the rifles just got lost. Now I'm worried.
Don't think they're gonna be able to have access to it though. It is below window. Time is ticking down. Widely though, any more damage they can deal. Takolia dead. The shots flying. King stabilizes, swaps back over to the rifle, and he will be the finisher. But that's still a hefty investment here, Lauren. LEV will be able to tie it up, but they lose one of those Vandals.
Ooh. It just gets so precarious if you're coming in on this. Because again, this round they're gonna have 3.3, 3.5 left on Taco, and again, I get worried when I see this because they're left in that predicament of what do we do now with this purchase? Do we try and just get around it with the light armor, which is totally viable if they fancy it, but on the other side, it's a far greater purchase now coming out from Vitality. Pretty comfortable, not perfect by any means themselves, but again, if you're looking on the checklist of things to do in those sort of rounds when you only have sheriffs up against rifles like that, they did everything correct for Vitality. Now the test begins. This is what we want to be looking for.
You just love to see these rounds being put up by King. Shy. All right. Why not? Great way to start. But as SK Rossi was saying on the desk, you see your IGL doing well. That really rallies the rest of the team behind because you say, you know what? I need to be putting in that much effort too. I need to be having that impact. And King is certainly delivering. The rest of the team, at least in this half so far, looking pretty damn good. Thing comes across, but again, it's King.
Yeah, between King and Shy, they are holding onto this game and putting up numbers. Yeah, Taco's disappeared a little, but there's someone ready to step up in his place. And now we'll see the readdress of the other side of the map. Maybe expecting a pull of the rotation here, but actually Sender is tucked in that corner still. And actually the re-explore from Twiston now, noting no one's here. Able to clear through towards mid as well. They're going to be at least note that this will be the CPs coming in. Do they stick around? I think they do. Sender! That's 3 kills! He's massacred Leviathan and brought back to a 2v2.
Absolutely unreal from him. Now Shy taking down Takolia. He's been a bit quiet so far on the map, but now it is his time to be loud. Finds the kill. Goes to cut across. He's against Twiston. Didn't spot him. Doesn't know. He's running low on time. He's going to go for a backside plant. Twiston starting to get into position. Let's see how he plays this out. Swings around the front. He gets jumped on, and Twiston will close it. Last man standing, but Vitality will retake the lead.
Taco was so paranoid about Long, so paranoid about Garage. After just, a couple of jump peeks, couple of fakes, he went, okay, I'm just going to go for the backside. Surely that's the safest option. We may be already considering that they noted him on that flank earlier on. But in all reality, you got to say Twiston there playing it perfectly, didn't fall foul to the pressure. And pound for pound right now, Twiston is drastically outdoing Taco. That is a weight off his shoulders as well. Gets Vitality around on this half now. Potentially they can build, but their money is not good. Leviathan will still have the better purchase coming into this one. Ultimate-wise, very similar, near-on mirrored in this.
Yeah. Lockdown for lockdown. Rolling Thunder for King, just 2 away. Molesy, if he can get that early orb, would be nice for a kill. And you can see that's exactly why they're pushing out into A. We'll be able to have that now online. Garage, however, being pressured out. Turret cleared on the C site. Destrian up top, Guardian in hand. Gets a couple taps across on a Mazina, but cannot find the kill. And that's going to be the go there for Shaw to go ahead and drop down the lockdown.
Yeah, they have to respect this. They have no means really to challenge. So I actually quite like this kind of gear shift coming out from Leviathan, taking that garage control substantially quicker, pressuring in towards C. This is nice, but it does then pose the question, how deadly is this retake? Smoke coming in towards C long, one towards CT, kind of almost again mirroring each other. Paranoia sent in. It's all time being purchased. Get secure in the post plant. There is no big flank in this. It's the lockdown coming in. This has to be the go signal. Shy can still be devastating from here.
Yeah, but now he's spotted. He wanted to push in, trying to go ahead and destroy it. He's unable to do so, and that Rolling Thunder is still in the back pocket of Molesy. They buy themselves some space to get over towards the spike. Now the Rolling Thunder comes across. Paint Shell's lobbed in. Does it interrupt? No, it gets the kill, but they still got it up the half. Showstopper comes in. They lob it, but it's shorted. But Mazina with the spray finds Bone Cold. They're back onto it. Sender trying to prevent, but he just can't keep him covered. He's back on it once more, holding for dear life, and he's managed to get it! The Paint Shells, the reset was there, but it's a bit too late. He holds it out, he gets the clutch. Vitality stretched the lead by 2.
How the hell did that happen? I thought that was... Leviathan, I think, had 4 players standing, desperately spamming, and Taco was putting everything to this. He put the Showstopper in, the Paint Shell in, he spammed people off the spike. I mean, it was everything. Joined by Mazzino as well, for that final moment, like a thief in the night, takes the defuse and gets the hell out of there.
Half a second sooner on that Paint Shell. He was down to 30 HP. But somehow, some way, he managed to hold it out to get the clutch and stretch the lead. And somewhat surprisingly, it's going to be Vitality who are calling this timeout, not Leviathan. They still hold on to both.
Yeah, with Leviathan keeping this many players alive, even in their losses, they're still able to fashion really good purchases throughout this. Yes, they burned through some of the ults, but again, they are 2 away on King, 2 away from Mazzino, 3 up from the Fador as well. They're still sitting on the verge of it, but the money's far from stable for Vitality either. There's still kind of bits and pieces missing from this. You're going to see Bulldogs, you're going to see Guardians, you're going to see Light Armor. Ult-wise, they're also on the verge. Twisted not far off himself. You're going to have that in pocket soon, Bone Cold as well. You're going to have a couple of the very critical pieces coming online, and the later into the game this gets, the more worried I get. I gotta see Leviathan try and get a grip on this game here, because it's starting to slip away from them a little bit, considering this is their map choice. As much as we have seen teams now previously in this tournament losing their map picks, I think Leviathan, there's a world in which it goes wrong for them here.
Their backs are certainly against the wall, but as you mentioned, the buy is still looking decent here for them. Just need to clean up those post plants a little bit more. All tools that both teams had invested into that last round, but a couple of these ults not too far off. King Wasn't really able to get anything in that last one, so still going to be 2 away. And
Big.
just get the double push down here in C, and Deathstream comes away with the kill on a Mazzino.
And considering how deep Vitality is in towards A, this couldn't have gone a better way from Deathstream's in danger. Yeah, he's dead.
Perfect
Shy,
timing.
really good timing to double check on this. They know Sender's still around somewhere, but again, be able to equal this out to a 4v4. Traditionally, this should at least favor the attacking side if they can still manipulate this map, cause some of these rotations to be a little bit more hesitant. Leviathan starting to clear through. No one committed deep towards long this time. As we note, Sender posturing towards logs on site, does have the support towards Garage, does have Molesy as well, sitting towards CT. There's the information, that's huge, that's everything. Can he get anything done here, though? He looks dead to reward!
Twistin!
Saving the day!
Just like King has the covering fire with the Guardian of all things. Takolia dead, and that's their way trying to get in. Molesy counter swings, finds Nazware. Now it's 2v3, low HP bars, yes, on the side of Vitality. They do have that defending position. Shy dead, Molesy as well. Vitality, the timeout looking wonderful. An upgrade there from the Bulldog. And now 10 rounds locked in.
It was something that I think was really kind of highlighted, especially in their earlier games, like on Pearl, for example, but some of the spacing from Vitality, and if the spacing is off, if they can punish any of this, it's always incredible to watch. They are great at the trades, they're good at spacing. There's no easy fight here, right? Like, let's say you try and swing towards Garage, you're gonna have Molesy backside. They had no utility, you have to try and divide and conquer towards that C site at the end of it. So again, that early pressure paying off well, having to use some of the utility to re-clear long after that. A little bit of aggression was committed to. Leviathan now sat at 7 to 10, double digits against them. They have to come up with a concept here. And when some of your stars are not finding the impact you need, where do you go?
A lot of it's going to have to be on King, Shy. These guys have been absolute monsters so far for the side of Leviathan. He's just now one more charge away from having that ult online. It's just a different style that we're seeing here from him. Not the usual approach of breach on Haven, which is farm orbs as much as you possibly can, and the kills and deaths that you have in there just to be able to get those Rolling Thunders up as quickly as possible. It's been a bit more passive from him. The impact is still felt, but he is falling behind as far as those ults are concerned, it feels like. So Molesy now 3 charges up towards that next 1.5.
Okay, they're still going to go for as much as they can for this Leviathan purchase in place, noting the Guardian, the Bulldog as well, the 3 light armors, no ults to play with. King is one away, Mazzino as well. Like they are on the cusp of getting a few through, and they look like they want to brawl for this. Leviathan and Vitality both willing to fight down towards C-Long potentially at the start. Let's see who comes out the victor on this one. Twistin does have the knives. He might be in the right place for it too.
One's going to be cleared. They're trying to get that orb. King able to grab it, but then he's cut down to size as Twistin finds 3. Takolia dead on the opposite side of the map. Shy, not a hope in the world. It's flawless, it's quick, it's dirty. The timeout, unfortunately for Lev, doesn't do a damn thing.
No, and they seem so aware of that want, that desire to try and get that orb going, and the punish on the back of it was just divine. Look at this. You'll let them Kate the orb is fine. We'll take 3 of your lives. In reply, Sender comfy at the end. No pressure coming through yet. They are just living large. This is Vitality just shining in this game. I can't credit them enough. That was a flawless round as well.
Yeah.
Now the buys in pieces. Leviathan finally suffering from the money now. Way more aggression thrown in, but it's still not going to be without a match. Twistin is here. He's everywhere.
Spots one, gets a little bit of damage there, but it's going to be Nazware actually finding Bone Cold. Twistin, as Mazzino TPs up into heaven, puts some damage down here onto the enemy jet. They manage to flush him out into the rest of the players. The kills come through, and it's just as fast of a hit as we saw in the last round, but this time it's Lev looking fantastic.
Yeah, the pace change here. You don't want that one. The pace change is perfect. Yeah, it was absolute pandemonium on the site. But Leviathan had a plan and they made it work. The crossfire here is set in stone. It shouldn't be beaten. What am I saying? Okay, it's fine. Mazzino there. It's all good. Leviathan not out of it yet, keeping Vitality away from map point.
It's another little breath of fresh air here, a hope for Lev to be able to rally back. Still 4 just to be able to get themselves locked in for a guaranteed overtime.
But roll your mind back to that first half. We saw that incredible aggression down mid, right? And we asked repeatable success. Is it there? And it's so hard to make that happen. I don't know if Leviathan can do this again. Does that find the same value? Do they need it anymore? They've got the lockdown there. They've got the full buy to an extent coming in here. They have everything they need. This is the best attempt they've had yet.
The problem is there's that counter lockdown on the other side as well as the Hunter's Fury from Bone Cold available. So should they go for that? He should be looking it out, but actually no, he's gonna open up. Try to get a tag. Just a little bit off, does get one shot across there on the Nazar at the very end, but as they pile into B, they will all go crumbling down.
The utility just keeping the way, softening them up, maybe expecting this more aggressive approach. The Hunter's Fury allowing that pressure to come down towards A-Long from Twist, and he's taken the space. And now what remains is attempts. A desperate attempt at trying to find some space. And now Destrian is surrounded. He's in a whole lot of danger. Leans a little forward, tries to find the fight and loses. Shy, Mazzino trying to keep Leviathan alive.
Now they can actually get an immense amount of value here. There's nothing left to really clear out this lockdown. They drop it right into the site. But they're still being approached on all sides. Mazzino winning that fight is everything.
And spots no one else towards CT, so telling. Now they know it's either Garage or it's Long, so they can readjust accordingly.
Mazzino looking to get himself up in the window. There's the push. Tries to take the fight, but yeah, Molsey gets the headshot. Shy, well aware, knows where everyone's at, but now he needs to play this to perfection.
He is the safest pair of hands. They've got 20 kills already. Needs to make it 22. That's 21. Does he have anything left? Twisted on the other side. The shot, it's gone astray. Another Lisa alive. Shy! Leviathan are just in this one off the back of that man.
Snipes him out of the air. Twisted doing his damnedest, but just couldn't quite line him up. As LEV continue to fight tooth and nail to keep themselves in this map. We'll look back, I mean, it seemed like that should have been Mazzino walking away with a win. Everything there from Molsey to get the kill. And there, it felt like it was done, but Shy, as you say, a safe pair of hands, manages to close it out. Look at him, he's got a pillow behind him, he's all cozy.
He's comfortable. The scoreline still not, though. Need to wait a little longer in this, and once again they're trying to get Twisted deep towards A-Long, but the response from Leviathan is just take B fast, instant pressure, navigate around, and Shy is heating up.
He's incredible right now. 23, 14, and 3, reads it perfectly, backs away from the lobby after the turret gets cleared. Just gets that lineup absolutely perfect. Bone Cold still in a position where he can potentially do an immense amount of damage, but now he's going to be spotted, just takes King down to a total of 80. 81, I can do math.
That's brave of you to try. But again, they're still holding a depot here. Leviathan haven't truly explored any of their options. It's a drastically heavier lean from Vitality towards C, a little bit of attention towards B, but most of the utility's been somewhat cleared and at limited amounts here. So with the re-aggress towards A-Long, this is quite good confirmation for Vitality that actually, yes, it is once again this B piece, or it could be potentially coming through Garage. It's not. It is B. Where's the counter this time? Where's the pressure this time?
Aftershock, yeah. Goes through,
denied.
but they continue to interrupt this one.
Molsey!
Zero left, and now that Spike's going to be stranded inside of the site.
There's no one there to follow it up. Leviathan left him on an island, and now Bone Cold in between them and the Spike. Bone Cold is on guard duty. Destrian by his side. And Leviathan might have just let this one slip.
They absolutely have. Because that's where narrowly manages to avoid getting locked down, but yeah, leaving Mazzino all on his lonesome. That smoke from Destrian, it cuts off the access to B. They're so terrified of pushing in. You see Takolia attempting it. But Bone Cold just hugs against the wall and cuts him down.
But I just love the faith behind the utility. The utility comes in from Molsey, and you know that there was going to be some pressure behind it, and that is the nightmare for Leviathan, right? You're trying to get that spike down. Half your team already sitting slightly deeper towards the post plant. They have to respect the smoke in play. So again, you get left on your own. As soon as that spike is down, you saw Vitality flood through. Look at the amount of utility thrown in towards this, and there is no help on the way. That is gorgeous work from Molsey, straight up understanding what his goal is, and he achieves it. And now what do? 9-12, Vitality on the verge of picking up map 1 against Leviathan on their map choice.
So they're going to be looking to up the pace a bit. Blast pack out, Dart going to bounce around. Doesn't get the scan, but they've heard plenty of gunfire, so they know that this A lobby is stacked. It's Twisted, not enough for the operator. Going to be watching from the top of ramp down to the short. Look at this heavy stack over on C. Prowler does not scout. Taco spotted. There's a couple bullets right there at his the base of his feet. Widely walks away unscathed.
So they've kind of worked out the early round here, right? They've won out towards A-Long. Information having a little look. Spots, I don't think actually spotting anyone on that Omen TP, so you know, no harm, no foul to an extent, finds nothing. Aldrone again, You can see Vitality are desperate to find information on where the hell the Vitality are looking towards, because they want to get Twist into the right place.
Another warning ping comes down on B, so they're starting to think this is going to be a back-to-back B hit. They still leave Bone Cold, but as he swings out here, he's going to have a nasty surprise. Lots of damage going across. Does avoid the fault line, so can get into a defensive position.
Turns a flash. He still needs a frag here, not going to get it. King deletes him, and the site's completely free. We already noted, you noted correctly, Twiston tried to lean towards that B side just in case. It's a 4-man retake against 5 players in this post-plant now.
And all of the ults were committed in the last round. They don't have that lockdown, that rolling thunder to really escort them into the site. They just need to straight up take this one with aim. Paranoia goes across, finds one. Molzy gets the ball rolling, taking down Takolia.
Destrin and Molzy doing wondrous work, trying to clear back through this site, but King and Navira, this is the response they needed. Digging their heels in, refusing to relent. Leviathan still just about getting themselves across the line in this, denying Vitality a comfortable close. They are back to the drawing board because the money is not going to be there comfortably for Vitality now.
Not super comfortable either on the opposite side. Shy still having to buy down. Damn low, 1900 remaining for him without a rifle to work with. But just a great take. Bone Cold kind of needing to win. Out at least trade a kill there to give the rest of the team a bit of a hope. But Lev just overwhelmed. They flush him out, and yeah, you can see hero rifle here in the hands of Molzy. Twisted, now he's back on his old stuff. He's got that shorty in his hands. Haven't really seen it so far in this map, but now he's looking to shut them down with it.
Yeah, Taco just got his ult as well. That's pretty big to add to the arsenal that Leviathan are bringing in. Zeno one away from his. They're starting to really hit quite the economic stride. And now Twiston might get checked on here. Actually gets away with it. Not spotted. Prowler goes past. Okay, Twiston's got a chance here. But again, it's only a shorty. It's only a shorty.
They need to push into him.
One
He
cross.
spots one. There you go. Taco finally turns back around, spots him. The shorty not going to find any value, and Bone Cold narrowly misses the window to get that headshot and take away one of these guns.
Traditionally on the back of that level of contact towards A, they've just been instantaneously springboarding in towards B. But you can see a little bit of an adjustment here from Vitality as well, getting Molzy in the right place for this. Could be good! No way! How does Taco still get away with that? Molzy dead, but it's worth it for now. Pinging out 3, they know what's up. They actually stopped the plant for now.
They do, but they're right back onto it. Just a single dart, not going to be enough to interrupt them. Mazzino takes a little bit of a chip damage there, but Widely's going to be fine. But now they have this double approach coming in through B main. Do they have the read on this? Because right now King is looking over towards Link.
Oh, Bone Cold, that's one. The Iceman himself with that Sheriff. But King's still here. Mazzino's still here. Surely they don't let this one slip. Spotting out Destrin, they take him down. It's a 2v2.
The fault line's everything. Mazzino now TP's up onto the high ground, spots Bone Cold on the swing, and they just cannot read this one. Sender brings it to a 1v1, but he's only got 59 HP. He's trying to get him here with this headshot. King jumps across in desperation. He's got to back off of it, and King finishes him with the classic. Lord, we are not done yet. Leviathan bring it 11-12. One more to take this into overtime. And look at the ult economy right now. One away from a rolling thunder, one away from a nightfall. The lockdown is there.
Leviathan, slippery as ever. We do have Vitality pumping the brakes here because they've had a couple of opportunities to close and they have not been going their way. This was huge. Again, the diligence to double check. Maybe just feeling a little something. There it was, just noting him on the way back through. Again, Taco, so fortunate to even find that in this round. The right click from the classic. I guess the desk wanted it, so they got what they asked for.
There you go. That'll make Josh smile a little bit. Some classic kills coming in instead of the shorty ones. But you can hear how fired up this audience is. They want to see that overtime coming through.
Oh, they want blood. This audience loves a bit of it, right? They are absolutely ferocious for their teams. And now we do see Twiston on the operator. We haven't got to see too much of it on this half, really.
Yeah, it was mostly the attack side.
Yeah, so again, the economy in the right place for him. He's able to get it himself. Light armor to boot. He is 2 away from the Bladestorm as well. And outside of that, pretty robust purchase. On the other side, it's the ults that are so close to what you're looking at, right? And what is the final attempt from Vitality? Yes, they have the safety of overtime, I guess, but you don't want to be depending on that.
Taking a look at the minimap right now, you see Molzy, Bone Cold getting stacked up over here at A long. Lev should be aware that, you know, obviously Molzy just 2 charges away from having that rolling thunder, and that's one of the biggest thorns in their side that could be there to deny them from taking this into overtime. So they have to be ready to fight for this. Fault line comes out first. Takolia jumps across. They will just back away. And I mean, they think they have this read. He's actually on the box, but now he should have been spotted. Paranoia across, but Bone Cold up close. Somehow doesn't win the fight. Mazzino guns him down. And that could be tragedy here for Vitality.
Mozzie has no way out of this. CT's overrun. The push-up's on the way. There's somebody on the side, but they finally clear him. Mazzino's there. 5 standing against the 3. Vitality not looking likely now.
How has this happened? Now the lockdown is in. The Rolling Thunder still held. King can just play back. Mazzino will get taken out, but Sender can't overstay. He has to just pull out of the sight. Respect the ult.
They have a little bit of utility and ain't much. Sender's got a touch of it. King, counter utility in place. Look at this. Seconds just pouring onto the post plant. And Vitality have so few options. They have to just make a go of it. And Leviathan are dragging this game back. Pick by pick, kill by kill. Twisted can only do so much. They're making a damn good go. Oh, try as he might. King reigns supreme.
He just cannot be displaced. When they need him the most, King is consistently there to take them across the finish line. 12-12 now, and it's just played to utter perfection by him. The Rolling Thunder to delay. We'll see it here in the replay, I'm sure. Maybe not. Maybe it's just a retake. I think it's just a retake. It is. Some nasty shots through the smoke to be able to clear that out. But he has the Rolling Thunder crossing the link, pushing them back into the aftershock to further delay and make sure that that clock is just bleeding down.
What a game we have on our hands. I said it would be volatile, and it certainly is. These two teams are really nicely matched. It's such a rare treat. The resilience from Leviathan to bring it back to this point, huge. And now we go back in. Leviathan on the defending side, Vitality on the attacking side. It's OT, and a game of this caliber deserves it.
What's the delay on this Nano Swarm, though? They throw it out late. Fault line a little bit slow. If they've been able to couple that together, you would have had a lot more damage there on the Twistin. But good from Shide, expecting that Sova Dart to be coming through, so just delays the Nano.
Yeah, I like the early willingness to take a little bit of a challenge, burning up some of the utility on either side. I mean, Shy's been pretty much worked through at this point, so they can go back to what they intend. Taco noted on long, so protocol list for Vitality is quite good so far.
Just making sure that they're not being pressured. Just shutting down any forward aggression. Boombot as well, not going to get to reveal too much. Same with the Haunt. King just looks to continue anchoring, but Ping's coming down. They're expecting somebody in window, not necessarily for Shy to be this close up. Now they start looking for it. Shy looks away. He turns back, finds one, but it will be traded.
Oh no, Mazzino's been spotted. The paranoia is sending. He's blind and he's just so dazed and confused. He's in danger. Slips into the smoke while Mozzie takes down King. The support system's gone, and now just one left to make a stand. Vitality taking it away from them in OT here for the first strike on the board.
Now they have that match point. Locked in, ready to go.
Not the first time we've seen that, though.
No, it is not. But that was not nearly as close of a round as you would like to see from Lev going into this OT. It was fairly clean, just Twistin getting taken down. Shy, good to be able to get that pivot, but just wasn't ready for the rest of Vitality rather to come rushing in. And now as we see the buys, Twistin is going for that blast cannon over on C, up in hand.
This is when your metal gets tested, though, if you're Leviathan. Some of their best approaching rounds on the attacking side have been pretty aggressive. Those B pieces finally got kind of thwarted towards the end. Very hard to go back towards that. It looks like Garage actually is the first port of call. Clearing through, they meet no resilience until now. Noting the operator, that's a worry, but they find Sender.
You do. Twistin is just getting pushed around this site. He hasn't found any stable spot to sit in. Just backs away. You know that he will have exited over towards the defending side, so they throw down the smoke. Don't want to expose themselves to any op shots. And now the plant can come through.
Bone Cold on the back lines. There is utility in the way, though, so does get to slip the first. Tries to clear Garage for them. Spots nothing so far. It is all players on C-Long.
He's not looking to try to take the fight there. He's expecting that they're all going to be pulled back away. I almost would have liked him to go for this kind of as an attention pull. Stop them from focusing in onto the site itself.
Paranoia.
They're onto the spike for now, holding it to half. Spam comes in, they interrupt.
Leviathan This is great. This time not making mistakes. Twisten's found. 13-13 with a prime gaming. Flawless. We go again.
Like I said, that first round, not nearly as close as you would like to see for LEV, only finding the 1 kill. This time, they bounce back and they get the flawless as we reset. Continue to go deeper. Yeah, not having any attention dragged away. You've just got 5 people sat at C-Long, spraying into a smoke. You're bound to kill those diffusers time and time again. Now we see as LEV's going to call a timeout. Owner wants to make sure that they walk away from this round on the defending half with a win.
Yeah, and the timeouts always get reset in OT. You get one regardless. So, but Vitality can also have a conversation at the same time. So this actually isn't a complete negative in their regard either. They can have a conversation as to what they want to do because they have been now. I mean, they got away with that ninja defuse on C-Long, but again, do you want to depend on the fact that maybe the bullets don't hit through the smoke? I'd love to have seen maybe Bone Cold or someone try and be disruptive towards that deeper C-Long post plant, but I still want to see what the plan is here because again, they managed to do that when Twiston was on C, which again would have been one of the, I guess, danger players if we want to avoid the operator, still able to work that out. Ran through the utility and Garage comfortably, didn't have anything to worry there. So again, that'll be in the second half of this second OT, but for now, Leviathan have been struggling a little on this side, so I want to see what their adjustment may be as well.
And you have to be a little bit concerned because last time LEV did call that timeout, we saw Vitality counter-strat them perfectly. It was the setup to just try to get King that orb over on C-Long. They triple stack it. They have the blades pop for the side of Twiston. They get the fault line across, and they just go ahead and kill 3 people right off the rip. Let's see if Vitality get a similar clean read this time around as Twiston just pushing past the nano. There you go. Shy cannot get the kill this time around.
Yeah, that's a difference maker. Twiston still standing. Mazzino wants to deal with it quickly, and he does. Wonderful work. Gets away to the back of the side, and King is here.
So elusive. Needs to win this fight, though. Bone Cold will strike him down. Plays off that slight one-way decently well. It's not as well. However, does arrive. Luckily as well. Forced out into the open, but he takes the fight, and he wins it. A clutch as LEV will take the lead and now have match point in their hands for the very first time.
So flamboyant, so aggressive to refight on that. The audacity. Taco's had a quiet game for his standard, but that fight at the end, again, swinging out here, reading it so well. That's a 1v2 he's worked out to finally give them the upper hand. That's the Taco you need to be seeing. That's been somewhat absent. That little spark or something has given them the upper hand here, but it's not over yet. 14-13, Vitality finally have the chance to answer back with their turn on the defensive side.
Again, back on the defense, though. Twiston going for the operator. Another glass cannon setup. Taco Leah backs away, eludes that paranoia, cutting across, and get a decent amount of util out of the side of Vitality there just by applying some pressure in Garage. Twiston now going to be noted here in B. So just fan out and make sure that there's no forward pushes here over towards the A side.
Pretty telling anyway, the deep utility, and bear in mind that Sender never got checked deeper in towards Garage. The utility towards mid has not been cleared. This is going to be, I don't want to say readable, but it should be understandable for Vitality. They still have Molesy here, they have Bone Cold towards A, they're in the right place, and they're clearing C-Long. So the information game currently, pendulum swing in Vitality favor. However, we've seen the explosive nature of Leviathan. Even with all the cards red, they are still dangerous, and they've got 40 seconds to play with here.
Clock down. Doesn't make it that much more scary when you do go for that site. Exec, if somebody were to fall, much like that. Bone Cold opens it up, finds one. Now going to be stunned. Trying to get a couple darts across, and Twiston watches for the lurk. Shy now taken down. The dart's going to find some decent chip damage.
A little bit on King, down to 85. Follow-up, not going to find as much, but still, there's 3 players. Double stack towards Hell, it looks like, and a slip back towards Sewer for King. The crossfire has to be good. The trades have to be almost divine for Leviathan, or again, OT will be calling.
Right now, what you're really hoping for is for King to be able to find 2 of these kills here as they push their way into the site, because that gives you the rolling thunder, but instead it's going to be Mazzino, and now we're finding 1. Twiston entries. The King gets 1 before getting taken down, and we are not done yet. LEV cannot close it here. It's going to be 14-14. Vitality, keep this overtime rolling.
I'd love it's so tricky because Leviathan to an extent then almost it's not a complete contact play towards A, but by the time they were really investing utility, they were already deep towards A long. They hadn't cleared the deeper utility towards Garage. They hadn't cleared that B utility, which allowed Twiston to note the player that was coming through that way. Again, it was a little bit of a more comfortable read for Vitality in this, even though it did still come down quite close. You can see the pressure is mounting on these players. And now the question is put again to Leviathan, for example. Can they keep doing this? Does Vitality have this depth as well? We wanted to find out how much depth these two teams have. This could be a long old game if it keeps going like this.
What's the OT record that
I don't.
Why not? Let's just break it.
Don't talk about it.
I'd rather have a long OT than a long tech pause.
That's true. That you know what? You're not
We're
wrong.
aligned on that. For now, just looking to go ahead and drone forward into garage. Turret going to be cleared. Twiston just hopes for a stray shot to connect. Vitality assessing the options here. Shuffling around, spike over to Molesy. Now they start checking over towards A. Takolia is waiting. Spotted neither player looking to take that fight aggressively.
And Twiston's being quite nasty here. He's waiting for those rotations to come in off the back of contact. Yeah, there's the punish. As soon as Mazzino wanted to try and support, get in position to rotate towards A, he was waiting for the punish on it. This is actually a really nice play. They're almost trying to counter what they were doing if there was an aggressive push down C long, but he actually gets rewarded on the punish of the rotation instead. Now they reset somewhat. 35 seconds. They still have a little bit of room to work with on B here. There's the smokes, there's the utility, and there they go towards the B site.
Plant getting ready to come in, but they also have this flank coming through right now from Bone Cold. He's managed to sneak in behind him. Destrian going to be the first one to fall, but the spike still gets planted. And Bone Cold, unread at the moment in this position, and he's going to look to do maximum damage. Just waiting for his opportunity. There's a tap of the spike. He creeps in. The shots, they whip initially, but he still will eventually find Nazar. Now Takolia taken down. Being able to answer back with one, with two. They still need so much more than this.
But then on the spike!
Shy's done it!
Vitality fighting so far ahead of where they needed to, maybe overheating a little, taking maybe earlier fights than necessary, caught in the middle of the window. But punished nonetheless, Leviathan take it to 15. Even with that lurk, even with that early pick, it all was starting to look good for Vitality. And then they crumble at the end, and Leviathan once again take the lead.
And this is the best way to start it off. They get rid of Destrian before he can TP out to safety. The paint shells, the nano swarm, they find the kills. That lurk from Bone Cold should have been everything. It should have been Vitality once again taking this to a map point. It's a little whippy. He still manages to get that kill, but it's enough time for the comms to come through from Leviathan, make the call that he's approaching from that A link. King swings out, they find the kill, and then from there, it's nothing but shy. Crisp headshots coming through from him. And now Lev. Sala going to be using their timeout as well as they look to keep themselves in this map and stop it from slipping away.
Yeah, I do see the statisticians in the background. So I do see Space and Co. discussing the longest OTs, the highest kill records, because this is getting towards that territory a little bit here. They seem somewhat inseparable, but it's by such fine margins. That's the mad part of this. It's very hard to separate these two, kind of taking turns now. This is that Vitality timeout, so maybe their turn to try and reinvigorate some of the errors that have been coming through into play. But I believe it is 1917 would be the... That'd be the OT record. I'm trying to look at this. 1816. I'm seeing a couple of numbers coming through. We'll have to see. I don't know yet. I don't know. It's not there yet. We're fine.
The longest at this event is at 1816.
Bloody hell.
Shout out to Space though. Of course, 1917 at a VCT event. It's the good old DRX versus FPX ascent.
Class. Oh, mid-aggression. Hold on. We've not seen this yet. Twiston throwing in a little bit of mid-pressure. Haven't seen them go for that look. Really, maybe... I don't know, maybe trying to buy a little bit of time on the default, burn some of that utility on the way in. Yeah, you're going to see a little bit of that sent through. The Prowler invested for sure, but again, this default's been decent from Leviathan, but I still want to see a deeper check towards Garage if that was their intention, but it's not. They're still eyeing up this A site, posturing up 3 players and committing them towards long, leaving 2 on the back lines and a 3-man walk down middle.
Shy, not sure how many he spotted. Either way, he's lucky to get away with his life. Small amounts of damage taken by him. Looks like Bone Cold going to be shifting out of heaven, getting himself onto the A side proper. Smoke comes in from Destrian, just trying to cut off anybody who wants to approach from short. Dart out, and that is a hell of a ping. Bolt line goes across, they get the haunt as well. Molsey tries to clear it, but he's completely paranoid right now. So they both tuck that back around the backside of the site. Takalia arrives, finds one, tries to go for the short, he can't make it happen. Molsey picks up two, but there's King.
But it's a 2v2. After all that mayhem, it's still all even. We said inseparable. How much more can they do? King still standing, Shy still there, but for only a second, Sender sends him packing, and now a 1v2 for King. The readjust is nice. But can he divide and conquer these two players? An attempt at the bait on the TP keeps him paranoid. King now worried, but he wants to get proactive. Gets
He's got a Rolling Thunder.
It's a 1v1, and he does have his ult.
The ult is in. One more teleport pedestrian. But he's got to know that this Rolling Thunder is going to come at him. If he taps the spike, let's see if he can dodge it. He just takes the fight, and King wins it out. The IGL drags them across the finish line once more in a 16-14 victory. Leviathan will narrowly close out on their map pick of Haven.
Narrowly indeed. The crowd is elated. The pressure relieved from Leviathan, because that game was close as hell. What resilience shown from Vitality in just map one. Seth, this is the series I've been looking out for. The Red Bull clutch at the end, but look at this work from King. When I saw it was King and Shy still alive, you know there's a chance in the audacity to take the fight on CT in a moment like this, and wins out, doesn't even have to use the ult. Man, I am just so impressed with them already.
Absolutely gorgeous play, but definitely I think a couple more mistakes, a couple more roadblocks than you might have anticipated given their propensity for playing on Haven. But now we got Pearl on the horizon, Lauren.
We certainly do, and that's what's coming up next, so do not go anywhere. This game is a barn burner.